guys, welcome back to my channel. I was just thinking, I was reading and I was thinking, and I was thinking and I was reading, and I was just thinking how many books I've read that I wished could be made into movies and TV shows, but they have not. And I thought it'd be fun if I could sit and just chat about my top fantasy books / series, because a lot of these are series, that I wish could be made into movies. A lot of these are throwbacks. These are quite old series, but I just think they are still in the back of my mind that I wish could be made into movies. And if you guys really like this video, I could do like an updated version of more like books that have come out more recently. But these are my ultimate series that I've read that I wish could be made into movies or TV shows, and I thought it'd be fun to discuss and also see if you guys agree with me, if you're still hoping that these will be made into movies. But yeah, this is also a fantasy edition, so if you want me to do this for another genre, you know what, just let me know. But we're discussing fantasy, we're discussing books that need to be made into films, and I don't know why they haven't been already, but that's the point. I'm not going to ramble on too long because I really want to chat about these. So my number one pick was something in the Shadowhunter universe, and I know we've got one Mortal Instruments movie. We all know how that went down. It wasn't great, and then they did the Netflix show, which is fine. Like, I've watched it, I enjoyed it. I think obviously we all know it had to like condense everything, and it wasn't, I think, exactly what happened in the book, so it was fine. Like, it was fine. I think if you're watching it as just a TV show and not someone who's read the books, then you probably just really like the show. Because I remember talking to someone when I was in school and she really liked it, and I was like, yeah, I guess as a show on its own it's actually quite good, but as someone who read the books and wanted the books to come to life, it was fine. It was fine. So my ultimate wish is that they could take a completely different series from Cassandra Clare's list and just make them into these epic movies. My initial thoughts is Infernal Devices, obviously, because I think it's a little bit better as a series. It's a trilogy. I think it has nice symmetry. It could be made into like 3 films, possibly 4, splitting the last book into like how they do for Harry Potter and Hunger Games. I just think the Infernal Devices world is so classic fantasy. We've got this like 19th century London setting, and we're diving into the Shadowhunter universe. Obviously there's Shadowhunters, there's demons, there's werewolves, and the whole thing. But I just think this element of it being historical, and we've got these like clockwork monsters, would just be visually so cool. And obviously we've got the amazing, stunning plot line. We've got a great like love triangle. So I just feel like Infernal Devices would be such a perfect movie series plot. I wonder if there ever has been other things in the works for Cassandra Clare's Shadowhunter universe, because I just think it's such solid material. I feel like the paranormal / like steampunk supernatural vibe that is this series would be such a different twist and like something refreshing that no one has seen before. And secretly I just really want to see these characters come to life, and I want to see real life Will and a real life Jem and Tessa, and I just want to see them all on screen visually. But yeah, even the aesthetics I think would be off the charts, and the costuming, everything. I think it would just look amazing. But yeah, they still haven't made it into movies, and I fear that because the Mortal Instruments movie kind of went down the drain, maybe they're a bit fearful of trying to pick up another series of Cassandra Clare's, but I don't know, it seems worth it to me, and I'm still holding on because it has been years now. Like, that series came out so long ago, but I still want it to be made into so many films. So I still want that Infernal Devices to have its moment. Like, I just imagine just randomly like you see a trailer for Infernal Devices and you're like, wait, what? And I think it could just be the most epic thing. I'm not going in any particular order, but yeah, this is just my next pick, and that would be the Darker Shade of Magic series by V.E. Schwab. I know everyone is just laughing, cackling, because this came out in like 2015, but as I said, it's not here, it's not on screens, and I don't know why. It would be so iconic. Whenever I think of like books that I would want to make into, not me, someone else makes these into movies, is it feasible, like, to get this plot onto a screen successfully without like compromising too much? Are the characters like iconic in their personalities and their appearance, but also like visually, aesthetically, do I think that the universe would be great to see on a screen? And I feel like this series fits all three of those categories so well. We've got a plot that's like epic fantasy, different realms colliding, different kinds of magic, and we've got these two iconic characters who have had their own adventures in the past, and they come together in this book and start this insane adventure where they're basically trying to save everyone and save all the realms using pretty intense magic. And visually, I think each realm is sort of described as having a certain color. The realm that has the most magic is called Red London. And so I can just imagine like the tinge of red every time we cut to this city, and just the flowing red river that's always described in this book. Like, it would just be pretty iconic not to miss the visual like opportunities that could be presented. Yeah, I just feel like this, it's like classic fantasy feel because there's so much adventure, and we've got like elemental magic and blood magic, but then we've got a very like layered and like interesting plot. So I know this series is an old one, but I just feel like we've got so much material and so many good characters and a really interesting plot, and like I want to see Alucard. I want to see Alucard on screen, and if that means nothing to you, I'm so sorry. Just read it. Just read the books and you'll know what I mean. But yeah, I just, it came to my mind and I was like, oh my god. I actually only read this series this year as well, so I think that's why it's fresh in my mind, but I know it's an old one. So yeah. Okay, so for my next pick, I have to pick The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow. When I read this book a couple of years ago, I was so shocked that I hadn't heard anything about it because it was really good, and I was like, why is no one saying anything? Probably my fault because I don't go online too much, but it's probably my fault that I didn't see anything. But yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know, The Once and Future Witches basically follows these three sisters in like the 1800s, and they're just not in a good circumstance, so they all end up escaping and trying to find power and protection in witchcraft. And it's just this like whole journey of found family and finding power and taking back what's theirs and just coming together, and just like sisterhood, also like these like crazy like witchy charms and rituals and magic. And I just want a good witchy film. That's literally all I want. I want a good witchy film, and I think this book is the perfect material to get that on screen. I feel like the fantasy element of like witches would be epic. Like I have not seen like a film like that ever. We haven't had a good witchy wizard film since like Harry Potter, or I guess Fantastic Beasts, but that's in that world, like nothing outside of Harry Potter. So I feel like it'd be like Little Women, but on steroids basically. So that's the dream. I really wanted to have like 5 books / series to talk about, but I just couldn't think of a 5th one. I don't know why I could only think of 4, so we'll just keep it at 4. I'm sure I can do this again if I really need to, but this is our last one. And as I said, when I was thinking about this, what books have I read that I really wish would be made into movies? Obviously, Six of Crows came into mind. If you don't know, quick side quest. Six of Crows is a duology that was written by Leigh Bardugo, and I don't know what year, but a little while ago they released a Netflix show called Shadow and Bone. Shadow and Bone is actually also a trilogy Leigh Bardugo has also written, and what they did in the show is they kind of combined the characters from Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows into one TV show. It mainly follows the Shadow and Bone plot. Obviously that's the name of the show, so of course it's going to follow that series of books, but they include the Six of Crows characters and some elements of the plot of those 2 books as well. So I know like I didn't want to put on the list because like technically they have been put on screen and they have casted those characters and we've gotten a taste of them, so devastating that they did not renew the show. I was like, technically it's kind of been done, so I'm not going to put this on the list. But it did get me thinking about Lee Bardugo and the fact that I not recently, but when it came out, I read Ninth House, and this is a duology. And again, I think this is a little bit more darker. We've got sort of a horror fantasy, dark academia duology. So, quick backstory into this book. We're set in Yale, where there are all these like secret societies, but these secret societies are a little bit nuts. They do like these crazy demonic rituals for loads of different reasons. A lot of it's like for success and like money and all this crazy stuff. And our main character, Alex, is part of one of the secret societies that needs to keep these other secret societies in check, because obviously they're doing these like demonic rituals. So just to make sure the magic is in balance, we're not taking too many lives, we're not throwing things too much off center. She is part of the society that goes around and makes sure that everything is kind of okay and within the rules that the university has set in place. She's not actually like super academically inclined. It's just she has this ability that makes her highly desirable by the university so that she can do this particular job. So I won't go into too much detail what her powers are and etc. But she's had a lot of traumatic past experiences, and she takes this opportunity to go to Yale to escape and to like be safe basically and have a future potentially. And there's just such like great found family. We've got Darlington, who is just like her mentor, and it's just a crazy world, and it's a little bit darker, it's a little bit more disturbing, but I think the fantasy element is just, it's so there, and it's like we've got these iconic characters, we've got this dark academia vibe, so this college campus setting. I really loved the show, I think it was The Order on Netflix. I think that's what it was called. It's about like this guy that goes to this particular college because he wants to take revenge on one of these secret societies. So he has a whole scheme with his like dad or grandpa, I think his grandpa, to get into this school and then get into the secret society and then like basically destroy them. If you know that show, this is kind of what I wish we could have for Ninth House, but as a show, or I would prefer a movie, but even as a show, I think it'd work. Yeah, I just want to see Alex, I just want to see Darlington, I just want to see their insane adventures that they go on the screen, because it's pretty insane. They go into different realms, they go into a different world. I won't say what world, but it is disturbing. So I'll say that. That's my dog, but yeah, Ninth House by Lee Bardugo. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed me going through my top books that I wish could be made into films. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me rant and chat, and let me know if you agree in the comments. Let me know if there are some other books that I should have included on this list. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye!